I want to do an introduction. First of all, my name is Robert Safran. I'm the executive director of the Jewish Entrepreneur. We're hosting this event. The title of the webinar is how to make your website attract more customers. The description of it is the webinar will focus on strategy for making sure your website and online marketing are being utilized as a funnel to build your business. It's being presented by Heshy Friedman. Heshy is a director of Radial Creations. It's a web technology firm that he founded in 2002. He has launched hundreds of successful websites in that time period and helped businesses grow by helping them understand and maximizing their valuable online real estate. Also say that Heshy is a very, very good mentor for the Jewish entrepreneur. He gives back a lot to the community, does a great job for us, and I want to welcome him and thank him for doing this webinar, and I'll turn it over to him right now. You have to unmute. I think you
okay.
got it? Okay.
Okay. Robert, thank you for that introduction. I really appreciate it, and I'm really excited to do this, and it's great that we communicated this. This series that you're doing with these webinars are amazing. They really allow people to learn from people who can give value in their field, and I'm very excited about this. And again, I want to thank you for putting this together, and I really hope everybody can benefit from this. Right now, everybody is on mute except for a few people. If you have any questions, we're going to take quick questions and then take main questions or larger discussions at the end. Feel free to unmute yourself to ask something quickly. I always like communicating with the audience, so feel free to post where you're from in the chat. I'd like to, we come from all over the place now with the world of being a virtual world today, especially since post-corona. So feel free to ask anything in the chat as well, and post in the chat where you're from. We'd love to see who our audience is and interact with them. Okay, with that, I'm gonna just Robert already gave me an introduction. So I live and breathe websites and web marketing. I've been doing this before Google existed. I've been doing this for a very long time. I've been doing this before there was, when HTML, before there was CSS style sheets. When we coded in plain HTML without any, it was you're dealing with the font tag, the italics tag, the bold tag, and the link tag, and that was pretty much that was all you got back then. But there were other tags like H1. I'm speaking. I know I'm getting into HTML here, so let me try to keep this at a level where everybody can benefit from. I'm not going to be too technical. Feel free to feel free to interrupt if I'm getting too technical and get me back on target here. I want this to be applicable to everybody. Like I said, again, everybody in the chat, please say where you're from. I'd love to see where the audience is from and interact with you as well. Okay, so the title is How to Make Your Website Attract More Customers. I thought this was a very appropriate topic to discuss now, especially since websites and web strategy and web marketing has become so critical to businesses in a post-corona era. What we're seeing now is I'm seeing a resurgence of businesses realizing how important this real estate is in their, the businesses, the office space, Manhattan, high-rise Manhattan businesses, offices are no longer really that critical now. It's really the virtualization and the ability to have a web presence online that's going to be professional, that's going to get you business today. Look what's going on Amazon right now. They were already booming with all the online sales, and now since Corona, how many people are not getting boxes in front of their house, if not daily, at least several times a week? And this is the new frontier that we're dealing with, and it's important to be on top of your game on that. So I'm going to share my screen with you as I discuss the I have a presentation to share with everybody, and let's open that right now. I'm going to go through some of the screens here. Okay, so I don't know if everybody can see my screen here. Hold on. Give me 1 second here. Share screen. Okay, so this is the today's topic here. I hope everybody can see it. What I want to point out is this right here. If you don't see this, please let me know. If you don't see my if you don't see this graphic here, let me know. I'm assuming that my sharing is correct here. Is everybody seeing this?
Yes.
Okay. So I made this graphic actually several years ago, but it's still very relevant today. So the key of a successful web strategy. Again, I'm calling it a web strategy because it's not just the website. It's all the components that revolve around the website. You have the website design and development, which is your site itself, but all these things are going to revolve around your website to help it make you money and make your business run off of it. So there's website maintenance, making sure the website is healthy and running properly. Search engine marketing, making sure that you're visible on Google and coming up. Social media engagement, getting customers through social media, interacting with people. Reputation management, making sure that your company is showing positive reviews on Google, on Yelp, on Facebook, etc. And email marketing campaigns, which directly targets your customer base. So these are the components of, but the main point is the website design and development that has everything revolving around that. So now this is what I call a critical component of the website design, and is not just to make a website for the purpose of having a website up. And I see so many times people fail to realize this, is that you have to take one step back and say, why am I doing the website? Why does my company do the website? There's a strategy involved, and you have to really take one step back and think about the strategy. So the first thing to think in mind whenever you have a company and whenever you're going to do a web strategy is the purpose is to increase sales. That is the goal of a website. It's a business component. Just like every business has an accounting, has finances, you have an office space for many businesses, you have a business card. These are all things that a business needs to function in today's environment. So you need a website as well. But the purpose is to increase sales. So you have to, in order to get there, the first step is to understand the target market, who's your audience, and how you're going to get them interested in your product or service. And then you have the content and the flow of your website that it's going to be attracting your target market, getting them interested in it, and also have a call to action, CTA, which is now that they're interested, how to get them to convert, how to get them to buy your product or get, to utilize your service. Okay, so that's very important. Now I'm going to get into the leads. How are they coming to your website? And once they're there, so I'm gonna stop the sharing now just to discuss this point here. The goal is that you want to impress people when they come to your site. That's the key. You want to impress them because you want them to convert. There are several types of people that are going to come to your website. In many businesses and service-related businesses, they're not doing a Google search for your company. They're coming because why are they coming to your site? They either heard about you, they got a lead for your product or service, and they want to know what you do. They want to hear about you. So, for example, let's say somebody is looking to, they're looking to buy a piece of jewelry online, right? So they heard about that you're the one who sells the jewelry, you're the guy who sells the product, and they want to see what are you about? What are your prices? What do you sell? How is it? What's your customer service like? You want to give that information to them when they look at your website, even though it's a warm lead, even though they're not coming to you from Google, they're coming to you because they got a referral that use this guy to do the to be the jewelry salesman. Guy, let's say somebody wants an engagement ring, right? And they're overwhelmed. Where are they going to get that engagement ring from? So somebody says, oh, I have a friend. His name is John Smith. He has an online jewelry store. Why don't you go check him out? He gives you do a Google search, John Smith. You see his website. Looks good. The prices are good. It's impressive. So that's a warm lead. So the first step is that even for warm leads, you want to impress them, because even if you get a lot of people say, I don't need a website. I don't need a good website because all my business is word of mouth. It's referrals. You still have to impress those referrals. They're going to do a Google search for you. So you need to impress them. So that's key. Now, there's also businesses that the model is that you're going to have people on Google search or in general other websites that are going to refer the business to them. So that's another step where you need to have a proper way to be found. So, so even if you're not going to have a business model that's going to be based online for searches, that's how the business is going to come to you, you still need to have your bases covered in website. Well, I'm going to show you an example here. Let me share my screen with you for a moment. Hold on, wrong screen. I have too many things open here. Hang on. Okay, so here's a Google search we're going to do here. I have a company that I did a website for called Crown Paving. They're a paving company in Lakewood, New Jersey. So if we do paving Lakewood, this is somebody who's, they're going to find leads from Google directly, right? So if I type paving Lakewood, so right here we see the ads. Okay, these are Google ads. They're paying for these. So we're going to skip the ads, and we're going to talk about ads in a minute as an inbound lead. But right here, you see over here, paving Lakewood, actually Lakewood, New Jersey. There's a lot of Lakewoods. Every state probably has a Lakewood. So let's do Lakewood, New Jersey. Okay, so this guy Dan the Paver is paying for an ad. But right here, the first link here is Crown Paving. So they're coming up on Google, and that's very good to show up right here. They're also coming up #1 over here. Now, this is very important because somebody is looking for paving in Lakewood, New Jersey. They're going to come up and they're going to find leads directly from Google. Okay, now this site over here has, if you look at the site itself, they're going to say over here very clearly our coverage area. Okay, we're on New Jersey. Okay, they're saying the words New Jersey here, centralizing New Jersey. The word Lakewood is on here as well, even though they're doing the whole New Jersey. So here's Lakewood, New Jersey. And this is all carefully crafted over here. Okay, so that's why they're coming up on Google. So they're getting business directly from Google. So they have to impress people, showing that they're good professional pavers. Okay. Now, even if somebody gives a lead, oh, I'm doing an apartment building and I need some paving, so I want to use a guy. He says, oh, call Chaim Klugman from Crown Paving. They're going to look at his site. They're going to see that and they want to be impressed as well. So that's the purpose of the site. You're going to have to impress people both that are warm leads and that are inbound leads from Google or other sources. Let's go back to the presentation here. Okay, so now we're going to go to the website. Okay, the website is your virtual window. This is really important to understand today. That, like I said in the introduction, that when we're dealing with real estate today, the website is going to be your most important asset. So the first step is that the website is a tool in your arsenal. It's not running your business. You can have a beautiful website. If the business stinks, you're going to have a problem right there. You're not going to be able to sell even with a beautiful website. So you need to have something. You have to have a good product or service that the website is going to be helping to sell for you. So just like website and marketing are a core part of the business, they are a part of the business. They're a cog in the wheel of your business. They're in a very important cog because that's how you're getting your traffic from, and that's how they're going to come into your store, right? So the website has to be visible and attractive to attract customers, and it's your main real estate today in a virtual world in a post-COVID era. I just want to say this is very important when you're dealing with, let's say, online sales, when you're dealing with, let's say, shopping cart websites. The way you have to look at a shopping cart site, or even an informational site to some extent, is that the same way you have a store and you set up the store, right? You have to have somebody in the checkout. You have to have customer service dealing with the orders. You have to have somebody stocking the shelves. You have to have somebody doing the interior design and decoration of the store. The same thing you're going to have virtually as well. You need to make sure that the site looks good as well. You have to have the front end look good. You have to have the design and experience look good. You want the customers to have a good experience when they browse through the site. If things are slow, if the checkout, it's like the checkout is slow. All these things you have to really give the same consideration. You need to have somebody, if you're doing an online store where people are buying online, you need to have a customer service representative who's dealing specifically with online sales. I once did a very expensive website for a shopping cart, a company that sells high-end products. They wanted to spend all the money and get it done right. I built them a beautiful website and they did not have somebody manning the orders. So a week after an order was made, somebody contacted customer support for information about the order. Where's my order? I want to cancel this order and order something else. And nobody got back to them. So they had a beautiful site, a beautiful infrastructure, but nobody taking care of them. So it's all part of the strategy is that the website is going to be a virtual window. You have to have somebody there who's taking care of it, just like you have a regular store, and it's a virtual front. That's the way to look at it. Okay, so there are some things you have to keep in mind. Like I said, when you're dealing with setting up a website, you want to go one step back and think of the strategy. So what is the strategy? How do you make a website successful that you're going to get increased sales through there? Okay, so you have to be visible to your target audience. You have to be found. You have to be able to get out there your message. So like I said, if it's Google, you have to make sure you're coming up on the first page of the Google search, especially in your industry. And that's a whole nother topic, which is SEO and localization. I'll touch on some of that later on. You need a relevant URL. You need a URL URL is the website address. You need a web address that people can remember, that's something that's not like too long to type. And it also has to have keywords in it because the keywords itself is going to help you with Google on the URL itself. You need to have professional design and content to impress the people. And you need to have a very strong message immediately apparent. Right when you go to the site, you want to be able to see that message. Let's go back to that Crown Paving site. Again, I just have that one open, so I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, right away you're showing what do we do. Crown Paving, they're reliable and professional asphalt paving, serving all of New Jersey, centrally located in Lakewood, New Jersey. The message is strong. The message is right there. Make sure your website gives that message right away when they load the screen, because you need to tell them what you do right away. Don't make them have to, figure out what you do. So that's a key component of design. Okay, then we get to, where is my PowerPoint here? Then we get to, you want the website to be secured by SSL, which means that this is obviously, and it seems to be a non-brainer that you have to have an SSL certificate. But it's really, I've seen so many times, I've seen shopping cart websites where there's no security on the site, so you're automatically going to scare people away, and they're not going to check out because there's no security. Let me show you what this means. Let me show you what SSL means over here. Now, this site, the Crown Paving website, is an informational site. You don't order here online. I mean, there's a request a free quote, but this is a call to action. But this is the SSL right here. You see connection is secure. It tells you about the certificate. Google today requires this in all sites because they want to make sure your site's legitimate. They want to make sure you're a legitimate company and you're not a spoofer. So used to be you only needed this little SSL thing right here on the you only needed it on shopping cart sites or any site that takes sensitive information. But today you want to have that on every single site. Any professional company that you're going to use will we'll put that together for you. You're going to hire a company in India. They're not going to cover their bases. They're probably going to leave that out, and you might have to manually tell them to do that for you. Okay, let's get back to our list here. So hold on. Then we have, obviously, the site has to be mobile friendly and responsive, which means that the site has to adapt to a screen size to make sure that it's going to be visible properly on mobile devices, on smartphones, on tablets, on laptops, and on large desktops. And I'm going to show you a very cool tool here. Most of the audience today, people are viewing their websites on mobile devices. So if your site's not properly optimized for that, you're going to be losing customers that are interested in your product or service because they're not going to have a proper viewing experience. So let's just, again, I have this Crown website open. Let me show you how it adapts. This is called responsive design. So here we're at our full desktop screen. As you see, as I decrease the size of the screen, watch what happens. Everything kind of shifts and adjusts, and the menu adjusts. Everything adjusts to the size of the screen. So this is maybe tablet size. This is getting smaller. Here's what it looks like on a mobile. And then you have the menu collapses, everything collapses, and then you have it properly optimized for mobile devices. So if this is going to be a key component, pretty much today all designers are doing this. If they're not, then they're really old school. Every website today has to be mobile friendly. It has to be responsive to be properly optimized for a good experience. Okay, this next thing is good the next thing I have is good user interface, UI, UX. What is UI? What is UX? Most people don't know the difference between the two. UI stands for user interface. UX stands for user experience. That means that when customers are going to their site, they have a very good experience. The site doesn't load too slow. They find what they need. The forms are clear. You're giving them an experience. UX is user experience that's going to be positive. If you have a page and the checkout is all convoluted, you're gonna automatically distract from the user experience. I'll give you an example. Guest checkout. Guest checkout is extremely important today on many sites because many people are afraid to want to put create a password, make a whole account. They say, let me just spend another $5 and order it on Amazon or order a similar product. So you want to provide the guest checkout option on many sites because you can lose 25% of sales if you don't have that option, because the guy goes through the process he likes. You convince him to buy your product online, and then he goes out in the checkout process, and there's a whole big thing. Enter your password, enter this, enter your birthday, enter your social security number. They're not going to want to do that. So take out all those extra fields, make the order process simple, effective, straightforward, and that will automatically increase the turnover. So that's user experience. User interface is just that it looks nice. It looks good to them. They're impressed. Because if you start showing them things that don't look good and they're not impressed with it, they're going to treat your product and service the same way and not want to go ahead with you because they're not impressed with what you're offering. Okay, and the last thing is on the key website elements is a strong CTA, call to action. So again, let me share my screen with you. Here we have this site right here, Crown Paving, request a free quote. That's a call to action, okay? Read more, meaning you're giving them, they're scrolling and scanning, and you want to get them interested in converting to more info, more info, more info. These are all call to actions here. Request a free quote again. You're giving them information that they want to see, and you want to be able to give them that ability to convert and request a free quote and contact them. So always, most sites need that call to action there, and that's the next step, okay? Let's go back to the presentation here. Okay, so the next thing is the professional website design process. How are you going to use that to, how are you going to use your website to increase your sales? What is the process of a professional website that will help you achieve that? Okay, so number one is you have to understand your target audience and research competitive sites. You want to see what the other people in the other experts in that field are doing. You want to see how they're doing it, how they're successful, and obviously you're not going to plagiarize them, but you want to learn from their ideas and be able to build your website based on that. So you have to first understand your target audience. Who it is you're targeting and how you're going to attract them. Okay. The next step is the website creative. You have, if you're dealing with an agency, they have either a creative director or project manager that's going to organize everything before you actually build the site out, before you build the design, to understand what the components of the site are going to be, and then build the site around it. So that level of creating the site is going to be important because it's going to help you understand how that you're going to utilize that to attract the target audience. Then you blend in the color style with the theme and the logo and the branding, all to make it part of the process. Branding is going to be very important as well. Like a lot of times you're coming in with already an existing branding and you want to build a site around that branding process. Many times I come into a company and their logo is 20 years old and their branding is outdated. So we help them with that as well to modernize the logo. And really the logo is going to be the first step of the way in paving the way to build the rest of the site. The way it's laid out, the styles, the colors. As far as, again, you want to have personalized photos. Let me share another site with you here. Personalized photos are so important because they make somebody connect to the company. They attract you to want to using them. So here's a website we recently launched. Let me just load it here. This is for an attorney, an employment attorney in Manhattan. So Moskowitz and Book. So we designed their logo to match their layout, but these are the people that actually work for them. Okay, these are their employees, and here's again, you see the strong message, and the idea is it's personalized. These are you're working with professionals that are personal, and we have the Manhattan background. This is a real picture that was taken. A shout out to Label Schwartz who took this picture, and then you can see over here again. As you scroll down, you have the pictures of all their people with a bio on each one. This personalizes. So you really want to get personal pictures, and sometimes the pictures should tell a story. You also have the right type of pictures here. For example, these are called graphic icons right here. So these are also very important to be thought out, to match. If you just had text there, it would be boring. So you want to add icons there to fill it out, and in general to make it graphical. And then, like, for example, here, this picture, this is not a personalized picture. This is stock photo. This is called the Scales of Justice. Anybody in law knows what this is. But this is a background that we purchased for stock photo to put this together. Again, it's all part of the process. You need good pictures. Definitely get professional pictures. If you want to showcase the company, I recommend always showing who you are, writing a bio, having a bio because people are looking for that. They want to do business with you. Who is running this company? Who are the people there? They want to connect to you as a person. They want to connect to the people. So that's as far as pictures and graphics go. Let's go back and share the PowerPoint. So well-written content. That's also very important to have the content written by a professional. A lot of times I guess most of the websites we do today, we're actually either putting together the content or assisting with that. In the olden days, I would say, give me the content and let's put the website together. Today, most of my clients are actually having us write it because they don't necessarily have they don't know how to write it or what to write it and what structure. It's not just like, you're not just writing a paragraph of text. You have to kind of break it down into content blocks. but the content should be compelling, it should be attractive, it should be grabbing their attention. And you also want to have keywords in there because ultimately Google is using those keywords and keyword phrases to determine how you're coming up on the search rankings. So you want to build the content. Also, there's something called title tags and meta tags, which we'll talk about soon, and the call to actions as well. You want to have the call to actions built out as part of the content. Okay. Then we have QA testing, quality assurance. Once you have a site ready to go, or even if it's live, you want to make sure that it works well. There's no bugs. The experience is smooth and interactive. There's no speed issues. So many times I'm looking at websites that are launched and the pictures were never optimized. There's no caching tools and things are loading slow. If you have a site that's loading slow, you're going to lose customers because people are going to get frustrated. They're going to click the stop and go to the next site. So you want to always have QA testing on everything. If there's a bug, something loads strange, half the picture loads and something else gets messed up, they're going to leave your site and you're losing their business. So, and then website maintenance is also, this is to ensure that the site is running healthy. If let's say you have a WordPress website, you want to do updates every month or so. Make sure WordPress is updated, make sure the plugins are updated, ensure site health. If you don't update websites on a regular basis, very often you'll get hacked because these hackers are looking for vulnerable websites that are not using the latest version. Just like you have to update a computer, you have to update Windows, let's say, periodically, and if you don't, you get those warning messages. Same thing with a website. The website has software, it has plugins. Most platforms, whether it's WordPress, Joomla, all these Shopify. Well, Shopify is a different story, but because it's hosted internally. But they do apply the updates automatically. But the bottom line is all the platforms require updates, and if you don't have a plan for that, then ultimately you're going to run into problems. Okay, let's talk about SEO. Because now that you have that professional website that's attracting your customer base, it's attracting attention, you'll get people interested in your product or service. How do you get people to come to the website? How are you going to get the traffic there? So that's where we get to the SEO. Now, I'm going to say even if your business is referrals, is word of mouth, you still want to have a positive SEO because they might Google your company name, and you want to come up if they Google your company name. So the first step is keyword research. You want to understand what are the terms that the customers that would come to your site would be using to do a Google search. So if there's any business, any specific business, you want to have those keywords in there, whether they're in the content, whether in the title tags. You want to have those keywords researched to understand how to weave them into the content. Okay, and then you do the content building. You want to build that content into the website directly throughout the site, especially the homepage, because those pages are going to be used. Now, again, like I showed you, on the Crown Paving website, that was definitely right then and there in the site as well. So, like right here, reliable professional asphalt paving, serving all of New Jersey, centrally located Lakewood, New Jersey. Look at all these keywords: asphalt, paving. These are things that people are going to use for the Google search. Somebody wants reliable, they want professional. New Jersey, Lakewood, New Jersey. Okay. Central, he wanted the word central because he does central New Jersey. Okay, all these things, parking lots, driveways, and roadways, these are all weaved into the content. And let me show you also the title tag and the meta tags. These are also used for search engines. So if this is the code of the page. Here's the word title: Crown Paving, reliable, professional asphalt paving, New Jersey. It has to be very short and sweet with a lot of keywords in it. This is showing up on the tab right here. Okay, in the top tab, but it's also Google uses this as one of the main things that they're going to display when they show a page. And then you have also the meta description, which is right here, meta name description. Crown Paving provides reliable and professional asphalt paving serving New Jersey, Central and Lakewood. I'm copying that in the top. Now this is all going to be used by the search engines, and you want this to be full of keywords. A professional copywriter will be should be providing this as part of what they're doing, because this is going to make sure you come to the search engine. So now, if I type in Crown Paving in Google, you see that this is what we just showed you: reliable and professional asphalt paving. And then this is the title tag right here, and this is the meta description tag. And as you see, it's showing up. So that's the key. You want to get that in there for the you want to get that in there as part of the writing, as part of the content to show up with SEO. So another thing you want to do is have pages with keywords. Let's say there's specific services that you have. Let's say in paving you have You want to show that you do residential, so make a page for residential paving. You want to do industrial parking lots, have a page on industrial and talk about that you do industrial. All of that, all those keywords are going to be served to Google. Another thing very important for SEO is blogging. What does Google want to see? One of the things they're looking for is that they're looking to see that the website is exciting. There's stuff going on. If you're blogging, that means new content is coming up with keywords on a regular basis. Google likes that. They want to see that. So keep the content fresh, keep new content going on there. If you just put up a website and it's static and just sits there, nothing's happening, Google takes note and says, hey, this is a static site. Okay, I'm just going to take a few things from the audience here. I want to thank everybody in the meantime for checking in and telling me where you're from. We have Rachel from Far Rockaway, Teaneck. We have Staten Island, Teaneck, a lot of Brooklyn, New York, Riverdale, New York. Barry, hey Barry, how you doing? Barry from Staten Island, good to hear from you. New City, New York, that's right near my neck of the woods. Passaic, New Jersey, Toronto. Okay, we got an international audience here. Now, somebody asked me a question, how do we copyright the website? So this really doesn't relate, copyright doesn't really relate to SEO or website design, but I'm not a lawyer, but I deal with some legal questions related to websites. You put that copyright symbol on the bottom and it's your own fresh content. From what I understand, that protects you. If anybody has if any lawyers here feel differently, let me know. But from what I understand, putting that copyright symbol with your unique content should suffice to cover you. Dina asks, what does SEO mean? SEO stands for search engine optimization. It's optimizing your site, making it properly display and visible to the search engines. Now, I'm using Google because that's by far the most popular search engine, but there are other search engines out there. There's Bing, which comes by default with Microsoft, so anybody who doesn't use Chrome and uses Edge, which is a small population because most people, when they get in a computer, they install Google on it, and now Chromebooks are becoming very popular, and I guess there's also people on Apple, using Macs. Macs have their own as well, but by and large, people think of search, they think of Google. So I'm not limiting other search engines because a lot of the same rules apply, and in fact, a lot of the other search engines use Google as their ranking. They use their algorithm as well. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. So Shalom has asked, she's referring to copywriting in the web design, about actually legally copywriting it. Okay, if there's any lawyers in the audience who know how to do that, she wants to know. Again, copywriting is the art of writing writing the copy is compelling and in the individual content. If you're writing unique content that's yours and you post it on the website and put a copyright, I believe it's legally protected. And if anybody plagiarizes that, and you can prove that the website's been up for a while. By the way, you can always see how long a website's been up for. You go to a website called web.archive.org. You can check the history of the website, what it looked like a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and you can use that. It's a really cool tool, web.archive.org. Okay, I'll take more questions soon because I want to continue on, but I just wanted to interact with everybody here. Now, so I was talking about blogging, and then I want to talk about analytics. Now, Google has a free tool called Google Analytics. What it is it tracks all the site data of who's visiting your site, how many people are visiting them, where they're coming from, what pages they're viewing. This is very important data to check on a regular basis. You want to see who your traffic is and where they're coming from. And you want to see, is your traffic going up? Is your traffic going down? So it's a free tool. Why does Google give it to you for free? It's very simple. The more sites that have it, the more data they have on internet usage in general. They see in general website usage, and they benefit from that. But they also give you that tool, which is a great tool to check on a regular basis, and it checks. You can see which pages are more popular. You don't see actual company names that they're coming from. You don't see the actual, but you see general regions where the people are coming from, and you can see if there's a lot of traffic and very little conversion, let's say for business, then there's a problem there. If there's very little traffic, there's a problem there. How do you increase traffic? Google Analytics is the free tool that will give you the ability to analyze that. Okay, so that's as far as SEO goes. Okay, let's talk about PPC. PPC let me share my screen with you. PPC is pay-per-click. These are Google ads that are, well, not necessarily Google, Facebook ads that you pay for to come up to force yourself on top of the searches. So let me show you an example. Again, I have the Crown Paving open here. Let's share that screen with you. So I typed in Crown Paving. Let's say I type in paving Lakewood, New Jersey again. Okay, so this guy, Dan the Paver, okay, he's paying Google to have an ad to come up on the top, right? So if I click this right here, I just cost Dan the Paver, you know, I don't know. You see, Dan the Paver is paying Google to lose money, to lose business. You see that? Basically, it's service unavailable. But he's paying Google for these ads, and you set a threshold how much you want to pay for you know, how much you want to pay with Google, and this forces you to the top of the search engine. Now, many marketing companies use this as the first step of getting to the top of Google. It's like artificially doing that. It works because look, this guy got to the top, although his site doesn't work, so that's obviously a problem. But that's called PPC. Now, my general philosophy on PPC is that you first want to, before you spend money on the on doing a PPC campaign, you want to make sure that you cover the bases. You want to make sure that you're having the website organically optimized first, and your other marketing money is used in an effective way before you start spending money on PPC, because it's kind of an artificial way to boost your standing on your ranking, when you can do organic stuff that can hopefully get you that traffic a lot better and a lot more cost efficient. But again, some businesses it is appropriate for. It really depends on the business model. This is making sure it's pointing to a professional website with easy converting. Okay, what we just saw with Dan the Paver is that that's obviously the worst case scenario, where you're paying for PPC and it's taking you to a site that doesn't exist or the site's down. So if you're going to have, I saw a company once that was spending $20,000 a month on Google Ads. Okay, now you went to the site and it was a terrible website. I told the company owner, I said, or the marketing guy that I know, I said, you know, if 1 month just to spend your Google Ads campaign with them and invest that money in doing a beautiful website, obviously $20,000 for that. They had a very complex website. But I said, just spend the money first, redevelop your website, because you're spending all that money and you're bringing the traffic to the website, but you're not getting a high conversion because the website stinks and you're losing people. You know, so you're paying money to send people to a website that's outdated. So update the website first, then to the Google campaign. Also, have a campaign manager. If you can do PPC, have a campaign manager, because they know where to spend your money. They know what keywords to use. They'll track everything. I know a lot of people who are doing this on their own, and quite frankly, I think they're flushing money down the toilet because it's they don't know how to make it work for them. There's Facebook ads, there's Google ads, there's all other ads out there, social ads, LinkedIn ads. So again, a professional campaign manager will be able to help you with that. But like I said, first, the key is you want to first cover your bases before, the marketing bases before, and then do the PPC. But again, the reason I'm mentioning it now is because I feel this is like marketing companies try to push this first because they want to artificially boost ranking, but it's not necessarily the best way to get there. Okay, Google My Business. This is a fun one. Google My Business is a tool from Google that allows you to put your business on the map directly. Okay, so let me show you how this works. This is one of my favorite topics here because it's one of the easiest ways to get yourself on Google without doing that much. And it's so underutilized by so many businesses. Okay, this is kind of the secret sauce for SEO. Okay, so let's share my screen with you on the Google Maps, on the Google screen here. Okay, so we did paving Lakewood, New Jersey, right? So let's see who's coming up. Okay, so right here we have Crown Paving, JM Paving, and Elite Paving. How does Google? This is actually not this is Google showing you a map of different areas. And now let's say I type Crown Paving. I'm typing the actual company name, right? This is an information panel right here from Google, right? That allows you to see information on the business. Okay, so you have the phone number here. You have the hours of the business. If you can claim your business with Google and give all this information, and then Google, if they see you have a complete profile, they're going to bump you up. They're going to want to show businesses that have completed profiles. So what you do is, this is the key. You go to google.com/business. Okay. You here's your business profile in Google. Manage now. I don't know which company I'm logged into. Radio creation, let's say. I can set all the information of my business directly within Google. Okay, so I can see I can say a lot of stuff here. I can also see how many people are visiting that page. Info. This is so this is I can you see I changed it from Radio Creations Inc. All these things view on the map. I can show where it is on the map. I can add my hours here. If you do this with Google, my business, Google business, it's business, google.com/business, which routes you here. The more information you give to Google, the more that you're going to see and benefit from. So let's say we type in Radio Creations in Google. Now, I put in, I actually put photos in here. You can see photos of at work. I actually had a virtual tour. We have some of our staff here. So the more information you give Google, the better they're going to outrank you on that information page. So put pictures in there, put content in there, add your hours, add all your information into the Google My Business, and that will show up right here. And then you'll come up much better than other competition. Again, any professional marketing company, that will be one of the first things they're going to do for you. And if they don't, they're doing something wrong. Okay, so claim your Google My Business. The way they do it is, how do they know you own that business? They'll either send you a postcard or some other way of verifying that you own the business. Sometimes you have taken over the business or it's listed under somebody else. So there's a process how to claim ownership of the business, which is doable. And it's somebody like me constantly deals with this, with companies, helping them claim their business, because again, that is one of the key components of SEO, and it's such an easy thing to do, and it's so often missed. Okay, so another thing to do with your, if you notice on the Google Business, there were like 5 stars there, or 4, whatever, how many stars you have. You want to actively solicit customers. Now, I want to talk about that as reputation management for a second. What is reputation management? Reputation management is when somebody, let's say, Google's my company, they want to see what I'm about. If they're going to see a bunch of negative reviews right on Google, here, let me show you. I'm going to share this with you because it's right there.
Right now, July.
Hold on. Let me just share my screen with you and show you that for a second. Hang on. Okay, so let's say we're going to type Radio Creations right here. Okay, so right here, you see this 4.9. Somebody actually who I don't even know, hold on. Somebody, I'm sorry, I just shared the wrong screen with you. Let's go back here. Okay. When I type in Radio Creations in Google, right here, you see these things. You should have 5 stars here. How do you get more? Basically, you want to actively solicit reviews from customers. You want to make sure that they're giving you good reviews right here. And the more you get, the more is seen over there. Because people are going to type your company name in Google, they're going to see this right away. So if you have a bunch of negative reviews or you don't have a lot of positive reviews, it's going to reflect, that's one of the first things they see. So actively solicit reviews from customers. And again, the reason I have 4.9 is because some guy who I don't even know years ago, just gave me a negative rating. I tried disputing it with Google. You can actually dispute reviews. They don't always listen to you, or they ignore you. But the key is to bury them. If you have a problem with the business and people are legitimately submitting negative reviews, obviously that's going to reflect bad against you, and you're going to keep on getting them. But if you have a good business and you have good customers and you're actively soliciting them to give you good reviews, if you do get some random negative review from some weirdo out there on Google, sometimes you'll bury it very shortly. So that's the key. It's so important because that comes up right away on the search. So you want to get those positive reviews. You want to impress customers because they're going to see that right when they do a Google search. Okay, moving right along. Localization. So on this is really relating to targeting your understanding your target market. Many businesses are going to be focusing on a specific geographic area, whether it's the New York City metro area, whether it's the United States. And again, today the global borders are decreasing. I could really run from anywhere today. Before Corona, I would have many more meetings with people. I'd come down to Manhattan. I'd go down to the different places and meet with people. Today, almost all my meetings are virtually on Zoom. So we can host a meeting and get specs and review project details with anybody from anywhere. But still in all, your business, you want to make sure the website is attracting a specific target market. One of the things that Google actually uses, one of the main things they use for searches is localization. If I type, let's say, ice cream into Google, how's Google going to know which ice cream parlors to show you in the search result? You know what they do? They obviously will check to make sure that there's ice cream in the title tags, ice cream in the meta tags, ice cream in the content, and the word ice cream is mentioned many times. But they're also going to see where are you located and where's the nearest ice cream parlor to you. They use localization. So you want to make sure that your localization is on the website itself. You mention where you service. Also mention different regions around you. You know, let's say if you're in let's say I live in the Muncie area, so mention we service the Muncie area, including Wesley Hills, Pomona, Suffern. Mention those words because those will come up. Google sees that you service those places. Also mention Rockland County. Mention areas on the content where you service, and on the content page have that as well. Another thing that I heard, I haven't verified this, but you always don't mention a 1-800 number on your contact page. Mention your local number because Google will identify your zip code and help refer local searches to that location as well. Okay. Social media. Okay, we're getting towards the end here. So I'm just going to wrap it up. We're going to take some questions, but social media is really a topic on its own. The idea with social media, I'm going to speak very briefly here because there's a lot to talk about here before I take the questions. Social media is an important way to get traffic to your business, and it really depends on the specific social media platform that you're using. Basically, you want to have profile pages for social media on all the main, you want to have Twitter, you want to have Facebook, you want to have LinkedIn, because when you type a company name, when you type that company, and I'll just show you right here what happens, that social media page is going to come up right away. So you want to capture the searches on those terms. So hang on.
Thank you.
I'll share this with you. If I type in radio, here, we have radio creations in here. So look what comes up right after my company website. What's number 2? Facebook. Number 3, Twitter. Number 4, LinkedIn. See that? So even if you're not going to be active on those social media platforms, grab those names, grab those social media profiles because they will come up on Google. Now, you want to have something there. So if you go to a website and you see the last social media post was 2014 on Facebook, that shows that the company is outdated. The company is not exciting. So just put something up there. I'm not even saying to interact with people and to use social media as a tool to build a business. Just so you have content there, just so you have material, and then you have active stuff going on, that Google will higher rank you. So a lot of the social media aspect is specifically geared towards SEO. Okay, so maintain at least a basic account on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn just for those purposes. But let's take it one step further beyond SEO and actually building business and bringing in traffic. So how do we do that? So let's share my screen with you. Okay, so the idea is to engage with people. You want to engage in that platform. So here we are in business. The LinkedIn is the most important platform for B2B. So you want to have you want to be able to use LinkedIn. Again, I'm using LinkedIn because that's going to be 85% of the audience here is going to be being able to benefit from LinkedIn. If you have, let's say, products that you sell that you have good pictures of, then Instagram would be a very strong platform for that. But the idea is to connect to the right people, connect to people interested in in what you offer, follow them, they'll follow you, comment on their posts, engage with them, like their posts, do that back with them. So engage with the people, and then you'll build traffic through social media. Okay, connect and engage with an audience to build followers. And then you also want to have your social media pages themed to match your website. You want to have the logo properly sized, you want to have the header image properly aligned. Again, this is a full topic, which we don't have the time for, maybe another day. But again, I'll take questions on this after. Getting to email marketing. Email marketing is one of the most powerful forms of marketing because you're directing your attention towards people who are already interested in your product. You have an email list of customers. Grab a list of your customers. Send them emails. Don't bombard them maybe once or twice a month. It really depends on the business. But definitely send them out. Let them know you exist. Things going on in the business. If they're already a customer of yours, send them emails out. Let them know what's going on.
Fucking thing. Lose it on the way here.
Make sure they're legitimate emails. Don't spam people. It should be real people who are interested in your products. They're either customers or you have a legitimate list. You want to use an email service provider, which is ESP. You want like MailChimp or Constant Contact. They give them the option to unsubscribe if they want. And the last thing, actually, I already talked about reputation management. We already went through this. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to officially end the actual presentation part, and there's a lot of questions here. So I'm going to try to go through as many as I can. And I guess we'll stay on however long anybody needs. Feel free to, leave at this point. I'm not holding anybody hostage, but we're going to take some questions here as well. So, and we'll go through everybody's comments here. So, okay, let's see. MC writes, what tools can I use to learn professional SEO for content writing, how to include keywords, optimal amounts of keywords, etc. Okay, so obviously that's a very good question. The first thing to do when you're dealing with that is keyword research is going to be the first thing. You want to look at the other websites out there, what they're doing, and how, the ones that are coming up in your business on Google. See what they're using. Look at their title tags. Look at their meta tags. And as far as how to know how many, how much words to use for each one for the title tag and the meta tag, there's a tool. If you're using WordPress, there's a tool called Yoast. Y-O-A-S-T. Yoast gives you the, it allows you to type custom title tags and meta tags for each page, or just set them generally for the whole website. What Yoast has is a really cool tool that shows you when you're having too little content or too much content, or just right in the title and meta tags. So there's obviously, I don't know the exact number count, but at a certain point, if you have too many keywords in the title tag, it will get cut off. If you have too many in the meta tag, description will also get cut off. So you want to have the right amount. You could just Google what's the right amount of characters to use in a title tag, and you'll get the right number there. I don't know it offhand, but I usually use Yoast, and Yoast just shows me as I'm typing if I have the right amount of keywords. So you get the hang of it if you do this often enough. But as far as the actual content writing itself, what you want to do is look at the other sites that are successful, see how they're organizing the content, make sure you're using keyword phrases. Like, think about what is somebody going to type in Google to get to my site. You think of those words and incorporate those as sentences, as phrases. And like the meta description should not be keyword stuffing. It's not just keywords with a comma. In the old days, there was something called a meta tag keywords. That's not used anymore. You would just have a bunch of, let's say, keywords with a comma. It's not used at all by Google today. What you want to do is weave it into the content. The title tag should be like a short title, like 7, 8, 9 words. Description is a sentence, and the content itself, weave the wording into sentences and phrases used on the website. MC, I hope I answered your questions. Feel free to chime in if you want to discuss further. Okay. Talia Crane, would you be willing to review my website and provide feedback pro bono? I'm happy to do a review. I can't do that right now with everybody here. Feel free to send me a message. I'm going to provide my email here in the comments. So I'm going to send this to everybody here, my email. So feel free to email me for any further information. I also have the presentation, the PowerPoint presentation for anybody who wants. So you can email me and I'll send it to you as well. My email is right here in the chat. So Shalamis, feel free to email me and I'm happy to look at your website and give you a free roast on it. Okay. Let's see what else we have. Benjamin Chop, what is the top way to grow traffic from off the website SEO? Are you asking, I'm assuming you're asking how to grow the traffic just directly through SEO. I think I answered that in discussing all the ways of building the traffic, all those tools to bring in traffic through SEO. That's I think I mentioned that. If there's anything specific you're looking for, let me know. Okay, Razy Flom, can you please repeat the website to go to register your business with Google? Okay, I'm going to put it right here in the chat as well. It's www.google.com/business. Okay, or just do a Google search for Google My Business. Google MYBUSINESS. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Shalom says, what's the most efficient and cost-effective email service to alert subscribers to new content? Okay, so I'm assuming you're referring to email service providers like MailChimp or Constant Contact. My personal preference is MailChimp. They actually have a free version that you can get up to 2,000 emails a month, I believe. You have to use their branding in the footer, like you have to use the MailChimp logo. But for many people, especially starting out, that's definitely going to suffice for them, and it's free. So MailChimp would definitely be the one I'd recommend. And for most of my clients, I recommend it. Some of them use Constant Contact, which is also a very good system. There's a lot of other ones out there. There's Campaigner. There's a lot of them out there, and they're all pretty good. Some have their issues more than others, but I would suggest as far as the best one that I've used is MailChimp. And I don't know what you mean by alert them to new content. What I would say is that you can send an email out with new things going on in your business, you know, as part of the email list that you maintain. Most of these email service providers, they do have a sign-up form that you can code onto the website where customers can sign up directly through the website, and then it maintains it directly through their database. I hope that answers your questions. If not, please feel free to message me or shout out, unmute yourself and ask. Okay, from Amy Canary. When someone follows me on Instagram, should I follow them back? Okay, so if they're in your industry, if they could be if they're either a competitor or a person interested in your service, absolutely yes, because that's how you build. They'll see your material. They'll see what you're going to be posting, and you'll see what they're posting. You'll engage with them. You always want to any quality leads. Quality can mean competitors, it can mean customers, it can mean people interested in your product and service. I don't know what your industry is, but those are people interested in what you're showing, so that you want to follow them back. That's correct.
Shit.
If they have a private account.
Shit.
What's that? Sorry? Okay, so then, okay, let's see if there's any other questions. Would you please give a list of all the URLs, apps that you mentioned? Okay, I'm happy to provide the PowerPoint presentation, so please email me privately after the event, and I'll email you the presentation, which has a list of all the URLs and apps. And if there's anything specific you're looking for after that, I can give it to you if it's not in there. Okay, website to register your business with Google did not show up for everyone. Let me see here. Should be working even if you're logged out of Google. Let me just double check. Google.com/business. Yeah, it's definitely working. I'll just show you now how it's working. Let's even works if I'm in an incognito window. Let's share my screen with you. Okay, so I did google.com/business right here, and I got to here. If you click on Manage Now, you can manage your business. So here I have to log in. If you're logged in already, so then it will take you directly there. So I'm going to log out. Let's close this. Let's close this, and I'll show you when I'm actually logged into Google. Right here, I type in google.com/business. Okay, so here it is, google.com/business, Google My Business. I click on Manage Now, and here I have my Google My Business. I have several things here, but here I can see the business information and all the details on setting it up. Okay, so that is there. If anyone has, oh, the URL did not post on the chat. Okay, let's try that again. I'll put it in here as well, /business. Okay, it should be on the chat. Oh, okay, I might have sent it privately to somebody. Let's send it now to everybody. Okay, here it is right now. Anybody can grab it from here. It's up to 2,000 per week with MailChimp. I believe that's what Amy Canary Design says. I remember it was per month, but maybe that's changed now. I'm not sure. But anyways, 2,000, even for whether it's per week or whether it's per month, if you're just starting out, that's plenty. Unless you have a very large list. And anyways, at that point, if you have such a large list, then you'll be able to afford paying for sending it out. Benjamin Shop asks, is it through bloggers? I don't know what the reference to that question is what through bloggers? Can you please clarify that? Okay. Okay, I think we went through all the questions. If anybody wants to ask anything else, feel free to add it in the chat here, or feel free to unmute yourself and ask. Okay, Benjamin asks, hold on. Is it through bloggers off-site SEO? Benjamin, can you unmute yourself and ask your question, because I'm still not understanding that. Feel free to unmute yourself. If you can't, I'll unmute you. I just unmuted you, Benjamin, so feel free to ask your question.
Yeah, so my question is how to properly have SEO off the website. In other words, you discussed traffic SEO on the actual website regarding meta description, all that other stuff. But in regard to SEO from other websites, what is, or any other platform, what is the best way, top ways to be able to gain the traction or organic traffic to the website?
Okay, so there was one thing I didn't discuss, which is inbound leads, which is getting traffic from other website sources. If you have, one of the ways Google ranks you is, and this used to be much more relevant, it's still relevant, but it's not, there's other more important things now. But one of the things Google does is they see how many inbound links do you have, how many external websites are linked to your site, and they want to see that. So let's say if you have blog posts and you're writing quality content, then that's going to be picked up by other places and going to be feeding into your website. They want to see how many websites are feeding into your website. If you have, one of the things you can really boost, again, this is hard to do for a business, but if you have .edu websites linking to your website, Google says, hey, there's colleges and universities linking to your website. That means that there's real quality content here, and that's going to give you a bump in the ranking as well. So inbound leads is going to be very important, but it's a very hard thing to achieve because it's not like something you can do on your own. It's not like an on-site thing that you can maintain on your own unless you actually go out there and solicit links. And again, links used to be link directories. People would try to do link building and this and that. And that's why I'm saying it's much less relevant today, the link building, because what happens is Google doesn't care about some stupid directory somewhere that you're on that's linking to your website. They're looking for quality links to your website. So they're looking for a link to your blog post that's a popular blog post. They're looking for, let's say you're this manufacturer of a very specific product and nobody else has it, and there's a lot of places linking to you as a source for it. Google's going to notice that. So a lot of it's hard to achieve, but you could reach out to, let's say you have a unique product or service that you want to maybe see if you can reach out to certain affiliates or things like that to get inbound links. But that's much harder to achieve, let's say content and stuff like that you do have much more control over on your own.
Does it play a role? Does it play a role actually on Google?
Absolutely, it does play a role. If it's a quality lead source, it's a quality link, then it plays a very important role.
Let's say bloggers if someone has a blog website, if they link to your website, does it actually play a role, or that's
it will play a role if the linking website is a quality website. If Google determines that site's a quality website, then yes. If that's a website, it's just like a link farm. You have what's called link farms, where in the old days, I'm sure they're still out there, but they're totally irrelevant now.
We met last year when we did the two offerings ago, I would say. And then we bumped into each other when you did the preferred offering. What was that?
That's not relevant to this conversation here. The link farms are places where people would, like directories, they would just place links on to link to your site. The SEO companies would have something called the link farm. They'd have external sites where they would use to make inbound links to your site. Those are, Google determines that as it's like bonds. Google determines those as junk bonds. Those are not quality links, and those don't have an impact. In fact, they can have a negative impact if Google sees too many link farms. It shows that you're trying too hard to get fake links. Many years ago, there was a company that I was doing managing the website for a company, and they hired a separate SEO company that was giving me things to do to improve the SEO. One of the things they gave me some text to add on the bottom of the page. The bottom of the page is white, and they said make these words white so they're invisible. So the idea was that these are keywords on the bottom of the page that the people don't see, but Google sees. There's a bunch of keywords on there. So I privately told the customer, I said, you're hiring an SEO company to basically demote your site, because this is one of the oldest tricks in the book. Google is looking to see that you have legitimate content, and that you have material that's quality. If you have like things that you're doing to try to artificially boost your SEO, Google takes note of that. And that's one of the oldest tricks in the book. So if Google sees white text on the page that has keywords stuffed on there called keyword stuffing, they're going to say, hey, this is fake stuff. They're trying to fake us out. They're going to put you down at the bottom. So again, it's legitimate sites you're looking to get links for. If you have a blog and you have other people linking to your blog, that is great. And that's what you should have. And get as many inbound links as possible. And if you can get from .edu, those are really valuable. But just having a link to your site from a junk site or a link directory or a link farm, that's not going to be valuable at all. Okay, thank you, Dina. I appreciate your feedback on there, and Shana Tova to you as well. Okay, I'm still around for any questions. I know we're overtime, so again, I'm not holding anybody hostage, but if you guys anybody want to stick around and ask more questions, I'm here and happy to take more questions from anybody who has any. Thank you, Binyamin Shop, as well.
Before anybody asks any other questions, I just want to comment. This is Robert. First of all, fantastic presentation, webinar, Heshy, and I really appreciate your time and the valuable information, incredibly valuable information you're presenting. I also want to say a copy of this webinar will be available to everybody that signed up. And if you send me, Heshy, your presentation, I will certainly include that copy to everybody as well. Certainly anybody can go directly to Heshy, as he mentioned, but if you send me the copy, I will send it out to everybody else as well. So there are other questions. I will get off the question thing, but I wanted to certainly have time to thank you and appreciate your valuable time. Great presentation.
Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that as well. Okay, so we have some more. Barry, thank you as well. I appreciate that feedback. Again, not everybody can see the messages here because they're private, but I'm getting them, so thank you, Barry. Cindy asks, what are your thoughts on Shopify? Okay, so this is a loaded discussion. This is a whole conversation. Maybe we can do another time, different platforms for shopping carts. Shopify is a great platform. Shopify is very smooth and easy. It doesn't allow as much customization for, let's say, platforms like WooCommerce or Magento, but for simple sites, for simple shopping, even there are some complicated sites on there with Shopify. But Shopify is hosted internally. I mean, Shopify themselves manages the platform for the shopping cart. So your advantage is that you don't have to do software updates like other platforms, and the security is all built in. Disadvantage is that certain customization things are limited. If there's no app out there that you can purchase that's available and you need to do some custom coding, that's going to be a challenge. Another disadvantage to Shopify is they don't just take they take a percentage off each sale. So if you're doing high volume sales, you're going to lose money at a certain point dealing with Shopify, because it's not just taking they're not just taking a commission off the you're not just paying a fee, a monthly fee, you're also paying a commission to them on each sale that you make. So that has to be a consideration as well. So hope that answers your question. There's a lot more to discuss on this. I'm just giving you a very, very brief nutshell on Shopify. Okay, anybody else? Any other questions? Okay, looks like we went through everybody here. Again, thank you everybody for joining and participating here. Robert, again, that was fantastic, and glad to have the opportunity to do this for you. And again, TJE, another shout out to the Jewish entrepreneur, really help a lot of people. I've gotten help from you guys, and happy to be part of it. And thank you, everybody. Shana Tova to all those celebrating Rosh Hashanah. We should have a happy, healthy new year, and we should all of us, all of us have a year of prosperity and growth, and hopefully this downturn that we had will really just be the springboard back up to an amazing year for everybody. And thank you very much.
I mean, thank you very much, Heshy, and thank you for the great work you also do in giving back and the mentoring you do, and really appreciate your time. Fantastic job.
Okay, thanks. Take care, everybody.